Hello everyone. In this lecture 23, we are going to discuss about the gate characteristics. So in the previous lecture, we discussed about the anode cathode characteristic, and now in this lecture, the gate characteristics. You know what is the mean by gate, right? What is the importance of this gate? Everyone knows. That is, with the help of this gate, we can switch on the SCR, make it function the SCR, right? So it has to be like it has to be in some controlled input or some control voltage we have to give, right? So how it has to be done? So what are the factors we need to be considering? Okay, so that's we need to look at, and how this gate and how this input to the gate is going to react when an input is given of a certain voltage. Okay, the circuit which supplies firing signals to the gate must be designed to accommodate this variation. So whatever the fluctuation in the voltage is given to the gate, it should be avoided. So it doesn't give, it should be a constant or non-variable voltage there, and it shouldn't exceed the maximum voltage or the power capability of the gate. So any devices you consider, it will have its minimum, or it can have a maximum, it can bear the voltage or the power. So we have to see that ratings when you use any of the SCRs. It has to prevent false ringing or noises, anything which is unwanted than whatever the signal we are giving, that is we call as the false signal. It should prevent all those things. Gate shouldn't be on for all those things. So it has to be very sure about what input we have given, or for what voltage it has to be given. It has to wait for that. If it is triggering, the gate will trigger at 1 volt, it has to wait for that 1 volt. It doesn't mean that 0.8 volt it has to start triggering. So that everything has to be considered. To assure desired triggering, it has to tell, okay, I want to trigger at that angle. For example, at a say at a 90 degree, so that much voltage has to be triggered. So it has to trigger at 90 degree. If it triggers at 89, or if it triggers 91, so some kind of a complication in our process might be affected. So it has to be very sure, but we usually consider whenever this electron is plus or minus 5% is the delay, problem is there, so we have to be bear with it. So before getting into gate characteristic, so what it gives, it's usually gives the brief idea how to operate within the safe region of the applied gate and voltage and current. So it is trying to give the one area or one region in that we can operate or we can control the process. Okay, so it has to be very important characteristic regarding this thyristor. At this time, manufacturing of the SCR is specified with the maximum gate voltage. As I said, the maximum gate voltage, or the gate current limit, or the maximum average gate power dissipation, all this has to be considered, and it has to be stored, and it has to be taken into the consideration while we designing any of the circuits. Might be for the control rectifier, might be for the stoppers, or might be inverters, or it might be SMPS. So these are the regions. That's the VG max we say. That's it. VG max we say. It shouldn't be cross. VG max, IG max, or PGAV. That's a maximum average gate power dissipation. This all shouldn't be exceeded to protect the SCR. So if it crosses those things, then some kind of a problems might occur. So always specified with a minimum and a minimum gate minimum of property. So we have to think at which the minimum current and the maximum current and the minimum voltage and the maximum voltage, everything has to be specified and given by the manufacturer of that SCR, and we have to follow that data sheets. Similarly, there is also limit on the maximum instantaneous gate power dissipation. That's the PG max is equal to into VG into IG. the maximum value, the permissible maximum value of Pgmax depend on the gate drive how we have to be considered, for which process has to be given. The gate signal can be of AC or DC depending on the sequence of high frequency pulses. High frequency pulses means at which moment of it has to be on and which moment it has to be off. All possible safe operating points for the gate are bound by high or low current value. That's we call as a VI cache. For that purpose, wherever we go, we usually represent it with respect to the VI. Anything with a VI characteristic of so and so we say, and that's the standard procedure what we follow. Similarly, the maximum gate voltage and the hyperbola representing the maximum gate voltage, everything has to be bounded and kept in one region. Now, so this is the graph here. We can look here. This is the current and this is the gate voltage. Sorry, and this is one we say a specified region there, PQ. So we'll look into one by one. Here we usually classify into the three regions there. First region, second region, third region. The first region is usually specified between OA, like this. This is the region of a OA. This is the defined as the which doesn't trigger any device. It is a region which doesn't trigger anything. The voltage given to the gate lies in that region. The maybe current or a voltage lies in that region, doesn't work. This is the maximum junction temperature what has to be obtained. The gate must be operated in this region whenever the forward bias is applied across the thyristor. Triggering is not necessary. As I said, this is not triggering. So why this region has been given, the question might arise. So this is what if any false signal or if any noises has been there, this is the maximum limit between this region it will allow. After that it doesn't allow. After that we don't get any kind of a false triggering. Okay, so that's the thing. OA is the level, it doesn't cross the maximum false triggering, and this can be ignored. Next is the second region. So when you go for the second region, OL and OV. So this is the region which call it the OL and OV. So you might ask, what is this region? The second region is what? This is the minimum what is required to trigger all the devices. Minimum required to trigger all the things. Okay, it is just a forbidden. It is just to trigger a thing. Might not always fire all the devices. Never fire any at all. Like that condition, like what you say, it is just a minimum what is required to make it okay. In next moment, it is on. Like that, it is a minimum. The voltage has to be set up, or minimum current has to be kept to make it a device ready and make it on. Make it on. Understood? So next, third region. So here we usually this is the all belongs to the third region. So what is the, you can see OM and ON. So once they give the voltages and current in that regions there, it can get start and it get hard triggering. It can start the triggering at immediate effects. Like that everything will happen. But when you want to work any of the devices, when you want to work anything, any of the devices, you have to see for them the maximum or the efficient, or we usually say the Q point. We say it as the Q point. So S is the Q point. You can see M, L, and anything number of voltage current has been given with respect to those current. So this is with respect to S1, this is with respect to S2. How? We have drawn a HD line or a load line which has been drawn from here, where it is getting the thing. So that is it getting cut. S1 and S2 is the maximum efficient in the ON line, and in the OEM line S1 is the maximum efficient. When you take this thing, the S is the common. When you take an average of this S1 and S2, this is the maximum efficient or the Q point where we can make a SCR work very fine without affecting, and we can get an efficient out of it. So we can say it's a immediate fast response turn on can be seen at this region, and this is usually required, and this provides a maximum region for the hard drive. So this rating also has to be considered when the trigger when we use the SCR. So we need to note down all these things. Okay, S points, S1, S2, permissible GPG graphs. You can see here, this is the constant power curve. You can see it here. This is the points there. Okay, so we need to decide that. So you can see the gradient line. As I said, OHD was line drawn there, right? So that time the OH by OAD. So what is happening here? If this is the graph here, this was the OH, this is H, this is D, right? This is O. So OH is what it was V, and this was the graph line I. V by I is what? R. Alright. So that's the logic we'll be using. So hence we say it as a whatever the we take value of OH divided by OAD, we say it as a resistance there. Okay. Then you can see the maximum value of this series resistance is given by the line FE, where E is the intersection of the lines indicating the minimum gate and the voltage there. That's why it's in the second region. The minimum value of the gate source series resistance has been obtained by line HC, the tangential PG graph. It was a like this, it was a curve, right? In the graph, that was the thing. The thyristor may be considered to be a charge controlled device. Thus, the higher the magnitude of the gate current flow, lesser is the time required for the charging of the thyristor. As I said that the magnitude of the gate pulse is higher, it will get a length. So that's I said in the third region, the how much high the voltage or the harder we require, this is given. So that means the charge is given. Therefore, the SCR turn on time can be reduced by using the higher manual. So turn on and off can be controlled by giving the gate voltage. Usually here off cannot be controlled, as we say that once the SCR has been turned on by the gate, it cannot control it. So it should be ensured that the pulse width is sufficient to allow the anode current to exceeding the latching current. So it is latching current deals with the switching on the resistor. Okay. In practice, the gate pulse width T is usually taken as equal to or greater than the SCR turn on time. Okay, and that's given by T is equal to or greater than or equal to T on. With the pulse firing, the frequency of the firing is known as F. The peak instantaneous gate power dissipation Pg max can be obtained as Pg max is equals to what? Vg into Ig. Pg into Ig is equals to Pgav divided by F into T. Vg into Ig we know is equals to Pgav is what? Divided by F into T. F is equals to what? 1 by T is the frequency of the firing pulse or the repetition pulse in the T is the pulse width in second. Okay. So now a duty cycle has been defined as the ratio of the pulse on period to the periodic time of the pulse. So we can see at the look here, this is the one duty cycle here. It can be defined as the delta is equals to T divided by T1. So T1 is what? One cycle of this thing is the thing what we say. As we defined here that if T is equals to is what? F is equals to 1 by T. So we can define in terms of a F into T. 1 by T1 is what? One cycle is what? 1 by T1 is equals to what? F. So that time we will get a F into T. So you can see here the frequency of the firing pulses, repetition rate means one cycles. How many cycles has been repeated there? That is the thing. T is what? Pulse width in second, if you mention it here. But here T is T1 here. I am taking example with respect to duty cycle. Here is instead of T is T1. Don't get confused by this formula here. This is different and this is different here. Okay, 1 f is equals to 1 by t, means one cycle it is. So this is the cycle. This is a t is what? On cycle. So that is from equation 1 we can say that PGAV into delta is less than or equal to PG max. So average voltage, average power and the time cycle or the duty cycle is always less than or equal to PG max. This is how you need to consider. Now next, requirement of the gate drive. What are the gates has to be considered? The drives requirement. The maximum gate power should not exceed by the gate drive that we have been discussed. Otherwise, the thyristor will get damaged. Next, the gate voltage and the current we should be in the limits specified by the gate characteristic for successful turn on. Yeah, as we know, we need to think more focus on that one. In the width of the pulse should be sufficient to turn on the thyristor successfully. Yeah, this is the main point. Because the whatever the pulse of the width is being considered, if it doesn't cross, if it doesn't reach the latching current, the minimum value 10 to 15 milliamps, so that time it will not make turn on. So that has to be considered very surely. The gate drive should be isolated electrically from the thyristor. Yeah, as we know, else this might avoid the triggering circuit, or it can, yes, thyristor also might be damaged. Gate drive is what can be isolated means it has to be properly channeled there. It has to be proper winding or a transformer has to be given, so it has to supply from properly. The gate drive should not exceed permissible negative gate to cathode voltage. Exceed permissible negative gate to cathode voltage. Otherwise, the thyristor might be damaged. So, the reverse bias condition, or else what will happen? Avalanche breakdown might occur. The gate drive circuit should not sink current out of the thyristor after turn on. Yeah, it shouldn't sink out. Sink out means what? Whatever the current has to be flowing has to be left there. Else it will, the latching current is what will happen. It will try to reduce and it will become the holding current. The holding current means if it reaches the holding current level, that time it is switch off. So that has to be mentioned properly there. Okay. These are the references, MD Singh and the KV Chandani. So as per the video, this is the textbook and other two are the reference textbooks. Thank you.